Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now March 14th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle drama continues and only worsens, we already know that there's a lot of things going on between herself, the Netflix executives, the board of directors, even CEO Greg Peters of Netflix. We know that there's a lot of issues going on internally and also in the public eye, as Meghan Markle continues to go into damage control mode to really try desperately to really fix things and patch things up together again, and it's just not working at all in the least for herself or for Netflix. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01, and thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing is for certain is that we know that Meghan Markle knows that this is an actual ratings disaster. She just doesn't really want to admit it all that much at all. We already know that Season 2 is basically just Season 1.5, a Part 2, so to speak, or splitting the first one into two parts. That's basically what it boiled down to. They tried to spin it like they greenlit a Season 2 and that it is yet to be filmed. Now, yes, they will be filming additional footage, just extra footage by this June, but most of it is just leftover material from the first one. Interestingly enough, though, this is where things begin to really get a lot worse when it comes to the whole Meghan Markle situation, as she goes into damage control once again. And it's only making matters worse for Netflix. It's making more issues for those like Greg Peters, who, by the way, and we talked about this, he tried to warn the board of directors ahead of time, about 3 months ago, that this series would actually be a flop, that it would be probably one of the worst performing titles in a very long time for Netflix. Let's get into this. Now, with the Meghan Markle drama continuing to get worse after the ratings disaster took place days ago, one major development that is going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle and her behavior after the ratings disaster of her series with Love Meghan. Meghan delivered the following. When you look at those that are in show business, one of the most complicated aspects you will ever face are those that remain opposed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I think our series with Netflix best represents that, and it's why you are just hearing a lot of noise from critics and reviewers out there. There are a lot of frightened people out there of change, whether it's a film or a series featuring women of color that take the lead and clear. That's what scares them in the series. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is the epitome of what it means to be fair and balanced. And anyone who is against that, I think, is exactly why we continue to deal with tons of noise in regards to with Love Meghan. It's completely unfair what so many actresses like myself have to go through and what we have to deal with our lives. I think this show is perfectly one that represents how I live my life, and people should accept that. This is not fiction. I wanted this project to mirror my life to the people and to inspire them how to live in the household. Actresses deserve better. They deserve everything in the world for what they have to give up in their lives, to do something so entertaining to the world, to really let them escape from the real world for a while. It's time to put an end to all the inflammatory noise that tries to silence hard-working women like myself in this industry that try to make a difference in this world, because in reality, that's the greatest issue that we have right now in society, are those that support things like sexism, misogyny, and everything else to do with bigotry. We did a fantastic job with our first season, and I absolutely cannot wait to show you what we have in store for Season 2. So guys, let me just stop here before I move on about what she is spewing yet again. Now, she goes on to talk about how she had to sacrifice and give up a lot of things in her life as an actress, right? This so-called actress, quote unquote, and I'm putting up air quotes right now. That's what she likes to call herself, an actress. But what's really, mind-boggling to me is how she keeps going on this constant trope about sexism, misogyny, and bigotry, and how actresses and even actors out there, they give up so much in their lives. They sacrifice so many things in their lives. Look, I know it's, something that you dedicate your life to, but I don't think that you're necessarily sacrificing anything, really. Let's be real about this. They do a job for a while, they get paid, and then they take time off until their next project. That's basically how it works for a lot of actors and actresses out there. So Meghan Markle, I think what she's trying to do here is that she's just trying to come across as relatable to the common actor and or actress, and it's not working at all. She's really coming across as very petty, very much judgmental toward critics that obviously do not like this show, for valid reasons, I must add. Nearly everybody dislikes this show, even some Meghan Markle fans, and yes, there are fans of Meghan Markle. Even fans of her own are beginning to actually call her out and tell her the truth that this just plain out is not good at all. And that's exactly why Netflix is having a very hard time with this series really catching up to speed with the ratings, and it's not. So, continuing on, she goes on to double down, because we are going to do so many different things that I'm sure the loud minority is going to really dislike if they disliked season 1. But that's what life is about, taking risks and not listening to the people raising their loud opinions. This is the best way to respect myself, by focusing on myself and how we can make season 2 into the perfect addition to the story. I would say season 2 truly represents diversity, equity, and inclusion to its finest. But when it comes to ratings, and I don't really like to talk about that usually, but when it comes to that, you have to realize that there are a lot of fake ratings and reviews out there. So again, this other constant trope of her saying that there's a lot of fake ratings and fake reviewers or fake reviews out there, it really reminds me of Leslie Headland of The Acolyte, that Star Wars series that failed miserably on Disney+. She said the literal exact thing. Literally, the same exact thing. That there are a lot of fake reviews out there, fake critics giving out fake opinions, and how that kind of steers things in the wrong direction for the studios. It's so untrue, because most people actually do provide their real opinion, their valid points. That's what, of course, people do. They express what they like or dislike. They're obviously not going to fake anything. So, look, I'm sure that when you look at With Love Meghan as a whole, this series really is something that's not relatable. It does not really, represent anybody in reality. People just see through the fakeness and the inauthenticity of the show. That's exactly why Meghan Markle is having a tough time convincing people that this show is relatable. Now, she goes on to close, you just can't, and I think it's very important that we all smarten up to judge things about ourselves without having to rely on reviewers and so-called critics that act like they know everything always. It's just something that you have to get past. So basically what she's saying is that reviewers and critics should keep their mouths shut, that there should be silence, that nobody should have an opinion, and that you should only express your opinion within yourself. Do you know how crazy and ludicrous that sounds coming from Meghan Markle? That's basically saying nobody should ever have an opinion, ever, whether it's good or bad. I mean, that's basically what she's saying. And I think at the end of the day as well, when you look at things like this, when you look at With Love Meghan and how they are spinning the extra footage and the to-be-shot footage in June, combining that, spinning that as a season 2 is ridiculous as well. It is literally just season 1.5 with some extra details being filmed over the summer. That's about it. But we already know that she wants to get very political in season 2. She's already been in the talks with Gavin Newsom to bring him on board, to cook with her in the kitchen and stuff like that. We already know that Gavin's going on multiple podcasts to become more relatable to the common hard worker out there. And I have no doubt that that's exactly why he's doing this, to prep up his presidential run in 2028. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Meghan Markle's overall situation of Netflix, the damage control train that she continues to ride on, and it's not working at all. It is only making things worse. She might as well call herself Rachel Zegler at this point, and ironically, they are both Rachels. But yeah, I would like to hear what you all have to say about that below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.